first half D. Like,
Don't do it, dog. Don't do it.
no, I just did it.
Don't don't do it. Don't get me started on this.
You know that little meme, you mad, bro? You mad, dog? Like
Well,
what
tell
about, because I saw this in the show notes and I'm like, okay, we gotta talk about this. Like, tell me what are you frustrated with the first half D?
trigger warning for Bills fans everywhere. Trigger warning. The end of the first half defense had me thinking so much about 13 seconds.
Oh, you're one of those.
Dog, I have been, for all the things that I like about Sean McDermott, one of the things I cannot stand is time management, playing situational football at the end of halves. I mean, it has been atrocious. And I will point to 13 seconds. I'll point to the end of the game last year versus the Chiefs in Buffalo. Okay. You get that ball with like 8 minutes left. Stephon Diggs drops that bomb pass with I think it was like 8.5 minutes left, something like that. Okay. I've told a couple people, if he catches that ball, I bet you have a 13 seconds type ending where these two quarterbacks are slinging it back and forth and you get 28 points in the last, 7 minutes of the game. Right? I really, honestly, truly believe that. Instead,
it would have been a momentum changer.
Instead, with 8 minutes left in the game, they start driving down the field. And from that instant, I am saying to myself, you either need to speed up or slow down.
Yep.
And in my preference would be to speed up, because when they missed that field goal, think about the situation that they would have been in. They put themselves in an awful situation. When Bass misses that field goal, if he makes that field goal and it's 27-27, you're giving the ball back to Patrick Mahomes with, I think, one timeout and just over 2 minutes left. You're dead.
It's over.
You're dead. You might as well let him score and get the ball back for Josh and see if you can. Okay. So you either needed to go faster and score that field goal with 5 minutes left. So when Mahomes drives down the field on you, hopefully you've got a minute and change left and you can go try to score yourself, or slower and you need to eat up the entire clock before you score. I mean, it is a huge problem. They had the same problem with 13 seconds. The awareness of that defense. They had timeouts left. You didn't need to guard the sidelines. But they guarded the sidelines. They gave up wide open throws to Travis Kelce down the middle of the field for 40 yards because they didn't realize that Kansas City had timeouts left. The end of the first half of the preseason game was a similar problem. Similar but opposite. And it drove me nuts. Carolina had no timeouts left. And Steve Tasker's on the broadcast even saying this should be the last play of the half as long as the Bills defend it properly. And the guy runs an out route, and somehow you don't know that he's going to throw the ball to the side. It should have been a pick six. You should have been all over that. And instead, the guy catches an out route, toe taps out of bounds, and they kick a field goal with 2 seconds left. And I am ready to bust my top. I'm going to lose my freaking mind. See, this is the same problem that has plagued this team year in and year out for a guy who spends so much time talking about being prepared, being aware of the moment and where they are. And I have to deal with them picking up 10 yards, 7 yards on the last play of their half to get into field goal range because you don't know they're throwing to the sidelines because they don't have any timeouts. What are we doing?
But we're talking about preseason, right? Like, it's hard for me. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's really hard for me to jump on that just because, like, we don't know what they were being coached to do. And, sometimes, coaches situationally in those moments, knowing that it's preseason, like to do things a little bit differently. So I'll give Sean McDermott that. But I understand the heart of your conversation and context.
Pattern, dog. It's a pattern.
It's inexcusable. It shouldn't happen.
Preseason game. It's not about the preseason game.
You don't think so?
If it was just this one instance, I would have let it go. I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, oh, some dummies that aren't going to make the team made mistakes. But dog, this is a pattern and it's a problem. And if we get into another playoff game and have I'll drive to Buffalo myself and fire the guy. Like you cannot do it. You cannot have those kinds of mistakes. You would have been dead
fair.
even if the Bills scored on that drive at the end to end their season, to waste prime years of Josh Allen. Even if they would have scored at that drive, Patrick Mahomes would have killed you.
That's another conversation.
Patrick Mahomes, 2 minutes and a timeout at the end of the game.
That's another conversation, dog.
It should be the number one thing that you're thinking is I need to make sure either I get Josh the ball back or I don't give Pat the ball. Those are your two thoughts. That's all you should be thinking about. And like that is Madden level stuff. That is college football 25 level stuff. That's not even like we're talking about NFL head coaches, dog.
You know, I'm guarding sticks, guarding the sideline. I'm clamping that. I'm clamping that. See, I had to do it. You know, I don't know, man. It's like I try not to be. I don't want to be doom and gloom. Not saying that you are, but 13 seconds is a wound that Bills fans that we have to deal with because it's killing us. And what you said, like, it's so reminiscent of it. It's poor game management at the end of the day, right?
It has ended our season in 2 of the past 3 years, and the only reason it didn't end it the 3rd year was because we got our ass kicked by the Bengals. Like
facts, facts.
By the way, there was a game management problem in that Bengals game too.
Yeah, I know.
You were down by 2 scores. You didn't. I can't remember what it was, but you were like down by 2 scores. You couldn't afford to kick it away. I don't remember something like that.
Okay.
Since there was a similar game management problem in that, if you had any chance of winning in that Cincinnati game, there was a similar game management problem at the end of that.
Well, since we're on negative town,
I gotta refocus here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Here's what I tell you in defense of what you're saying. We're talking about a head coach who preaches about how meticulous the operation is. We're talking about a team that went out and signed a former NFL ref to come in and help him with challenges because he was like the second worst in the league.
Yeah.
Who's coming in to help him with time management? That's what I want to know.
And I think they hired they made a big deal like 2 years ago about we hired an analytics guy who's going to be in his ear telling him to go for it on 4th down and when to punt.
He's aggressive. McDermott's aggressive.
He's going to have to be more aggressive this year, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the game management stuff is incredibly frustrating. And what's even more frustrating about it is I don't think it's that McDermott doesn't know. I think he's a smart guy. I think he knows. I think he's the kind of guy that the pressure gets to. And
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
That makes me scared.
Both you and I.
If that's what he is, boy, it's Marty Schottenheimer vibes.
I mean,
isn't it?
Listen, dog, I am a guy that thrives under pressure. I like it. I work better under it. So I don't necessarily understand the people who don't, but I also like I can see it when people don't. And it feels like to me that McDermott in those moments, I mean, how he's not on the headset with 8 minutes left in the game before that drive even starts, saying you either need to score with more than 5 minutes left or run the entire clock. I don't care what you do. And honestly, if I was the head coach, I would tell them which I preferred, which my preference would be to score with more than 5 minutes left. But
yeah,
but you need to be on the headset telling Joe Brady something there. And Joe Brady needs to be relaying it to Josh. Like, Josh, we got to go quick here. Because we need to make sure that if Pat gets the ball, we get the ball back one more time.
Hey, man, listen, you shouldn't even have to tell Josh that. In that situation, he should already know, right?
All 3 of them should.
Right.
I mean, like I said, this is Madden level stuff. You know what I mean? So
God, I just, it's like this. I love that you bring this up because it just so keep it simple, stupid mindset. And I don't know if some of the, I guarantee you some of these coaches overthink everything. McDermott could be one of those guys that falls into that category where you think so much that you just overthink the simple things. And I think you and I sitting on the couch can say one thing, right? But they have all the information. But I feel like you have enough smart guys in that coaching staff to say, hey, like we gotta learn from our mistake here. 13 seconds was a thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the pattern
you gotta
has to
learn
be
from it, right?
turning part.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I have my reservations about Sean McDermott as a head coach for the Buffalo Bills. I'm not saying get rid of him today, but I do feel like he has kept his team back in critical moments. Let's just say that. I feel like in the playoffs, he's constantly getting out coached. And I think, like
And
I said,
I don't even think it's out coached when it comes to motivating the team, setting up a game plan, making sure that they're ready, putting their guys in the best position to make plays to win. Like, I think he does all that very well. But when he's got to make that split-second decision about guarding the sidelines with 13 seconds left when they have timeouts and their most prolific pass catcher is in the middle of the field, like, it should be a no freaking brainer.
Yeah,
it should be a no brainer.
A layup, man.